In this presentation, I'd like to talk about how we can manage the privileged access for the databases and what we really do different than the other PAM vendors. So in terms of the technology, KronPAM acts as a proxy in between your DB users, I mean the privileged users, and your target databases, target systems. So we manage the connection in the protocol level, and we don't need any agent installed anywhere. So in a comparison with some other PAM vendors on the market, when we talk about the session management, uh, there are some types of solutions require some agents for session monitoring or managing passwords, or some other types require some fat clients to be installed on your computer for just to establish those access towards the target systems. Or there are some other types as well, like which requires jump servers in the middle where they keep all of those DB applications or tools for you to access through RDP, and they can control your access uh, through RDP protocols, meaning that uh, they can record your sessions and they can just auto, enable some auto login for those database tools for you, so you can actually do your tasks. But what we do different here, as I said, we work on the protocol level. We don't need any agent installed anywhere, or we don't need any, like a fat client installed anywhere as well. And in this video, actually, I'll be showing you and walking you through step by step how we are really establishing those, sessions. First of all, we will review together the configuration part, and then we will go and check, how we can connect to the target systems through some, scenarios that we have here. What we're going to see actually in the first step, we'll be seeing an access to a native database client. And in the second step, we'll be seeing a connection reservation since I blocked the direct access for the target system. And then we'll be seeing some, like policy enforcement by queries, like, black keys, white keys, and manual approval workflow. So before executing a command and a query, we need to get an approval from a manager. And we'll see on-the-fly data masking, functionalities here and some features which are really critical for sensitive information that you have in your databases. Actually, I didn't touch that part in this video, but we also have sensitive data discovery and vulnerability assessment here as well. And apart from that, we'll be checking the real-time sessions, we'll do some monitoring, and then we will check the audit logs and forensic logs. We'll check the logs for the audits and the further forensics. So let's go. So this is the administrator portal, and in this portal, we can see all the devices already onboarded. So I'll be using the SQL database for my scenarios. And if you go to the policy screen and check the SQL policies already defined here, I'll be using those, black keys and masking policies in my scenarios. And I grouped them out under some policy groups so we can, relate them with some manual approval or connection approval workflows. So here I have a workflow defined for the connection. Also another workflow for the for some commands that I will be trying to block. In terms of the approval workflows, it's possible to define multiple levels of approvers. And in this particular scenario, I'm going to have one level of approver, um, which is going to be the administrator itself, which is a group of this, group manager of the database user. Okay, and there's this screen for the policy tracking, which is one of my favorite one on this product, where you can actually check who is authenticated to which server and eligible to connect. And I can check here the DemoDB operator one is eligible to connect all of those database servers through my PAM portal, PAM proxy. And if I like to check the authorization level of the connections as well, I can just go to the authorization tab, and I can check the policy types of, for example, we we'll be working on the SQL policies, so that's why I'm going to be filtering them out like with SQL policy and for the DemoDB operator one. And I can see here for the MS SQL server, I have some white keys and black keys defined for that particular access. And I'll be blocking some update command and delete command. And apart from that, all the commands will be allowed in the session of a demo operator, DB operator user. In terms of the data masking rules, I have some masking rules defined here for masking the phone number in a customer table and employee name, employee's first name in the employee table. So you can see actually all the details of that, masking policies here as well. So now let's try to connect to our database using a native database tool. So since I'm a Mac user, here I'm using actually dviewer, and you can see I'm connecting to my PAM IP address using the proxy port associated with that database and using my PAM user to connect. So there will be no database credential exposure, so it's going to be like connected through a single sign-on. We couldn't connect because, as I said, I blocked the direct access since I enabled connection approval workflow here, and that's why DB operator user needs to connect to his own portal to reserve that session. So he just need to go to the reservation tab and add a session reservation here. So you can select which target device you'll be connecting here and then which credential we'll be using for that session. And you can give the reason, which is a must by default. And select the time window for the connection here as well. So we'll be selecting a 20 minutes of time window for this connection, more or less. So once we create the reservation, the platform will send a notification to the administrator, and that reservation should be approved by the administrator of that user. I mean, since I am the group manager for this user's group, I'll be getting that, request. I can see it. DemoDB operator 1 wants to connect to this database with that command actually entered here, and I can approve this connection. And yeah, it is approved. So you can see the status actually turned to approved already. So now we can attempt to connect again. Let's test the connection first. Yeah, we are connected. So right now we can establish the connection, navigate through the database, and check the tables, schema, everything here as well. And I'll be trying one by one some queries right now, just to show you how it works in terms of the, policies. In the first query, there is no policy applied, so it's just a white key, so we can do everything here. In the second one, for the delete command, as you remember, we introduced a policy and enforced it, so it's not allowed, it's a black key. In the third one, to update an information or a record on the database, you need an approval from the a supervisor administrator. So that approval request will be coming to me as well, since I am the approver of that user. So I can see all the details here. So update customer query, I can see this, and the user, all the information. So I can approve or reject it. So this time I'm going to be rejecting this one. And in the last two queries, I'll be showing you some data masking functionality. So as you recall, we had one masking method for the phone number and another one for the first name of the employee. So you can see the first name of the employee is masked as well. So we are already connected to the database, and as an administrator or any eligible users to see active sessions can connect to the portal and check all those active sessions through the active session menu. And here I can see all the DB activities so far in that particular session, and with all the details, if there's any masking or policy enforcement restriction, I can see all the details here so far. And once the session is done and the user is disconnected or the session is terminated, so we are not going to be eligible to see those sessions anymore in the active sessions section. So let's try that part as well. So the user is disconnected right now, and if we refresh that screen, so we don't see anymore the DB sessions here, but no worries, we're going to have them in the session logs tab. For any kind of further forensic, so you can see here the protocol, the user, the connected user, and the session time window. You can see everything here. And also, if you need to see the details, just like active sessions, you can check the details here. But if you need to do some further filtering per command or queries or policy enforcement, so you can use those filters above, and you can check everything through command logs tab. So you can see here all the policies enforced and all the details, and you can run your audits and further forensics through that screen. I guess that's it so far. I hope you found it useful, guys. Bye.